my name's Holly. I've been a Slimming World member for 4.5 years now, and I am 13.5 pounds away from target. I've decided to document the rest of my Slimming World journey on here. So I originally joined Slimming World in 2012 and my starting weight was 18 stone. I was a member for about a year of that group, and I didn't get down to target. I hadn't chosen a target anyway. I'd lost about 5 stone, and then I didn't go back, and I maintained. I didn't put it all back on again, but I decided to rejoin again in October of 2016 and try to get to my target. So since then I've lost a stone. Obviously I've put a bit on. I've just come back from weigh-in now, and I've put on 2.5 pounds over Christmas, which isn't too bad. It could be a lot worse. But my goal is to get to target by the end of February, which is 13.5 pounds, like I've said. So I'm going to show you everything that I eat and any tips. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me. So far I've lost 7 stone and half a pound. It was 7 stone 3 pounds, but obviously Christmas came and went. I've decided to try to stick to an SP plan for the whole of January, which I have planned for the whole of January. It was quite difficult. I don't really like much meat. I like chicken and beef mince. That's pretty much it. So there's going to be a lot of chicken in January. And let's see how I do. So today's Thursday, which is my weigh day, and a lot of people like to have a weigh day treat. I'm not an exception to this rule. I do have a weigh day treat. I like to have lots of cheese. So I have made a pasta bake with mushrooms, leeks, onions and tuna. But I have put in a lot of extra cheese, which I will be sinning obviously, so I will go over my sins today, but it is my weigh day treat. So let me show you. This is my pasta bake before I put it in the oven. As you can see, there's a lot of cheese on the top there. I'm not eating it all, I'm sharing it. But there's also halloumi hiding within, as well as the mozzarella on top. So here is the finished pasta bake. I forgot to say the sauce was made from chopped tomatoes and quark. There was also garlic and herbs to make it extra tasty. Good morning, it's Friday the 30th of December. I've not got work today, but I do have a hair appointment at 10:30. I have cooked my breakfast. I've cooked half an onion, 4 mushrooms, half a tin of beans and half a tin of new potatoes for my breakfast. I'm not on SP yet, so I can have the potatoes and I'm enjoying them while I can. So this is my breakfast. I have the beans, the mushrooms and onion and the potatoes. I've also got a green tea and an orange squash. So I am back from the hairdressers, and on the way back I went to Subway and picked up a salad. I got a chicken tikka salad with all of the options apart from jalapenos and red onion, because I don't like jalapenos or red onion. So there are some olives in there which would be sinned. Olives I think are 6 olives for half a sin or something. I doubt there's 6 olives in there, so I'll count half a sin to be safe. And I've also poured myself a large glass of water because I obviously haven't drunk a lot today yet. I'm now having a Hi-Fi Light bar, which is half of my Healthy Extra B choice, and a hot Ribena winter spice. It's 7 o'clock now. I'm just about to have my dinner. I'm having jacket potatoes, sausages and beans, which there is a lack of speed, but I did have a lot of speed at lunchtime. So these are
corn low-fat sausages, which are free, and I've got 2 of those. I've got my jacket potato, my beans, and then I have weighed out 40 grams of 30% less fat cheddar cheese. I've also got a pint of squash because I need to drink more fluids for the day.
So I still have half of my Healthy Extra B left and 9.5 sins because I like to keep within 10 sins. So I am having
Second half of my Healthy Extra B, a Freddo for 5 sins and a Milky Way for 3.5 sins, which brings my total to 9 sins for the day. I'm also having a black tea.
Good morning. It is the last day of 2016. I'm about to have my breakfast. It is exactly the same as yesterday's breakfast, but I'll show you anyway.
Here we go. I have baked potatoes out of a tin. I have mushrooms and onions and baked beans. I've also got a English breakfast tea brewing in my teapot. I've already had a green tea this morning before I started cooking breakfast, and I have a pint of orange squash.
So lunch was a bit unexpected. We were out and I thought we were going to go to Costco and I'd be having a jacket potato, but we weren't. We decided to go to Subway, so I got exactly the same lunch as yesterday. And as it's New Year's Eve, we have decided to order in an Indian takeaway. I have chosen a chicken shashlik as a main, and I've had aloo chat as a starter. After dinner last night, we ended up eating quite a few chocolate-based goodies. I have added up my sins from yesterday and I think I had about 30. So I have decided to cut down on my sins for the rest of the week to compensate for that. So I'm going to limit myself to 5 sins each day until weigh day. It is Sunday. It is the first day of January, which in turn means the first day of SP. I plan to have a cooked breakfast for my dinner, which is what I do every Sunday. So I've decided not to cook breakfast this morning. I've decided to have my first Healthy Extra B, some raspberries and some quark.
So my Healthy Extra B is these blueberry Wheaties, which I can have 40 grams of, and I really like them. I don't really mix my cereal with milk. I used to use yogurt, but obviously on SP you can't have yogurt, so I will be using quark. I've also got a lot of raspberries. I'm not going to have all of those, and I'm going to sweeten the quark with a tablespoon of Canderel sweetener. So here it is, my 40 grams weighed out of Wheaties, my quark, a level tablespoon of sweetener for half a sin, and some raspberries. I'm also having a pint of orange squash.
It's now 3:30. I haven't had my lunch. I did have a really late breakfast, so I'm just starting to get hungry. I have put my lunch in the oven. I am also planning on doing a big batch cook-off this afternoon. I'm making lots of things to put in the freezer for those days where I just can't be bothered to cook and say, oh, let's get a takeaway. Instead, we can get something out of the freezer and still be on plan. I'm also going to prepare tomorrow night's dinner. I'm having chicken, so I'm going to put that in a marinade tonight. And on Tuesday night, I'm having meatballs, so I'm going to get those prepared so that I don't have to on Tuesday. I have put in the oven some thins with tomato puree, herbs, and tuna and cheese. And then I've put some cherry tomatoes and some mushrooms in there as well for my speed.
So this is my lunch. I've got my second Healthy Extra B, which I can have because I'm on SP, which I've got tuna and tomato puree and cheese on there. Again, that's my healthy extra A, so I've weighed it out, it's 40 grams, it's 30% less fat. And then I've got some tomatoes and mushrooms as half a plate for my speed. I then got a tall glass of water. I haven't really drank enough yet today. I know I say that a lot, I do need to up my water intake. And then afterwards, I have made myself a hot Ribena. So instead of having chocolate or something sweet, I can drink that and it will be lovely.
So I thought I'd show you what I have done this afternoon. It's now 6 o'clock and I started as soon as I had finished my lunch. We have got the chicken ready for tomorrow, which is now going to marinate overnight. I made 2 aubergine parmigianas, which is tomatoes and peppers layered with aubergines, which I will then top with cheese ready to bake. I made a tarka dal, which is lentils and tomatoes and spices. There was supposed to be an aubergine in there, but I'd bought 3. I did 2 in the parmigianas, and the other one was all rotten inside, so I couldn't put an aubergine in there. So I'll have to do something with that when I defrost it, when I choose to eat it. I then managed to get 3 lasagnas made out of the vegetables that I cooked. I put in mushrooms, tomatoes, peppers, butternut squash, onions, and then layered that with a yoghurt and egg and nutmeg layer between the pasta, and again I will top that with cheese and bake. And then for the meatballs, I have some onions, garlic and herbs, which I will mix with some less than 5% fat mince and turn into meatballs. And here is my dinner, which, as it's a Sunday, is a breakfast. I have some bacon medallions, some mushrooms and onions, a tomato in quarters, 2 eggs and half a tin of beans. I've also got another glass of water. So it's a little bit later, I'm about to sit down and watch a film. I have had half a sin, and that means I've got 4.5 left. I have 2 of these little Christmas biscuits, which are 4 sins for 2 of those. I'm also having a hot Ribena, and surprise, surprise, another big glass of water. Good morning, it is Monday the 2nd of January and it's a bank holiday, so I'm not at work. I have decided to have a cooked breakfast. I'm having mushrooms, an egg, beans and thins. And here it is. I've also got a black tea, mainly because I put the wrong tea bag in my cup, so I'll have a green tea after this one, and another big glass of water. So it's lunchtime and I'm out. It won't be a huge shock to see what I've got for my lunch. You guessed it, that's another Subway salad. The only difference today is there is no sweet corn, because sweet corn is not an S or a P. I've also got a black tea. So it's later now, it's 5:30, and one thing I would say about Slimming World is it's much easier if you prepare everything before, so that you have it ready for when you are going to eat it. It's the first day back at work tomorrow, so while my dinner's cooking I've been preparing my lunches for tomorrow and Wednesday, and I've also chopped up some mushrooms ready for my breakfast, as it's such a rush in the mornings. So these are my salads ready for my lunches. I have lettuce in the bottom, cucumber, grated carrot, chickpeas, tuna and some herbs in there. And then this is my big plate full of chopped mushrooms. I've also bought a butternut squash, and a tip I would give for butternut squash is to chop it all up and put it in the freezer. It tends to break down the fibres so that it's much easier to cook when you need it. So here's my dinner. I have broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrot chips with herbs and my sweet chilli chicken. I've also fried with Frylight 50 grams of Sainsbury's lighter halloumi, which is my healthy extra A, and I have a glass of squash.
So I had half a sin in my salad for the olives, and the marinade that the chicken was in worked out at about 1 sin per portion. So I've had 1.5 sins, and I thought I would have the rest of my sins, making it up to 5 sins, to have one of these rich and chocolatey mini brownie bites. I then have only had one of my healthy extra Bs, so I'm going to have a hi-fi bar as a speed healthy extra second B, and a hot ribena.
Hello, it is Tuesday, it's the 3rd of January, I'm back at work. I've decided to have a cooked breakfast so that I'm a bit more full than if I'd have had just cereal.
I'm also taking the salad that I prepared yesterday for my lunch and an apple as a mid-morning snack. So here's my breakfast. I have my sandwich thins, some beans, an egg scrambled, and some mushrooms. So I've got to work, and the first thing I do is make a green tea, and I've got a big glass of water as well.
So it's now 3:30, I had my lunch at 12 o'clock, so I'm a little bit peckish. I'm going to have a snack.
So I'm having some cherry tomatoes, and I have warmed up a level tablespoon of hazelnut spread and mixed it with half a tub of quark, which is 4 sins for the hazelnut spread. And then, because I can't have yogurt, obviously this makes a nice yogurt style snack.
So I've been in the kitchen for an hour now. I have prepared dinner. I've made meatballs with the garlic and onion and herb mix that I prepared yesterday. Was it yesterday, the day before yesterday? And I've topped that with a tomato sauce with peppers and mushrooms. And then I've topped it with 40 grams of the 30% less fat cheddar. I've also prepared tomorrow's dinner, which is a chilli made with corn rather than mince, just to change things up a bit. I've put in 3 peppers and a tin of kidney beans, a tin of tomatoes and a tin of baked beans and some spices, and that will be ready for tomorrow, which I'm going to cook with some, not cook with it, I'm going to make some cauliflower rice, which I've never made cauliflower rice before, so that will be an experience.
So here's the meatballs before they go in the oven. I'm going to cook some Mediterranean vegetables as well to go with them. So here's my dinner. I have roasted courgette, aubergine and peppers, and then the meatball bake that I showed you before I put it in the oven.
Good morning, it's Wednesday the 3rd of January now, 4th of January now. And I'm just getting my breakfast and preparing my lunch. I'll show you what I have done.
So for my lunch I have the salad that I prepared on Monday, and because I'll be at work until 5:30 today, I have got some raspberries and quark, and I've got some tomatoes as mid-morning and afternoon snacks. And my breakfast is mushrooms, beans, thins and an egg.
So again, I've just got to work. I'm having a mug of green tea and a large glass of water.
That made me feel a bit better.
So I'm home now, it's about 6 o'clock. I am cooking my dinner. I'm having chilli tonight, which I prepared last night, and I have blended a cauliflower and a broccoli and steamed it. I've never tried that before, so we'll see how it goes.
And here we go. Chilli and cauliflower and broccoli rice.
It's an hour later, I've had my dinner. My verdict on the cauliflower rice is it's nice if you like cauliflower. I find it very filling, even more filling than rice, so I'll definitely be using it again though. In the meantime, I've been doing some preparation. I've made salads for my next 2 days' lunches, and I've also started making a bolognese for tomorrow's dinner. I'll be getting in from weigh-in at about 5 o'clock tomorrow, and I'd rather not be spending hours in the kitchen straight after. I'm sure I'll be quite hungry.
So my salads are the same as the previous 2 days. I've got lettuce, cucumber, carrot, chickpeas, tuna and herbs. That's Thursdays. As you can see, it's a bit smaller because it's weigh day. And that's Fridays. And then this is the bolognese that I'm currently cooking for tomorrow. I have put garlic, herbs, onions, mushrooms and peppers in there, and I'll be frying some mince to add to it as well. Obviously you can't have pasta on an SP day, so I'm planning on doing butternut squash. So I'm going to have my evening treats now. I have a Hi-Fi Light bar, which is a Speed Healthy Extra B, which is my second one because I had thins for breakfast. And then I've got one final chocolatey brownie to use up since Christmas, and that will be 3.5 sins. I've also got a hot Ribena as well.
Good morning, it is Thursday the 5th of January, and as it's Thursday it is weigh day. On weigh day I tend to not have a cooked breakfast. Thursday mornings are quite manic anyway, so I'll just be having my cereal.
So here's my breakfast. I have got half a tub of quark and a tablespoon of sweetener for half a sin. I've then got 40 grams of Asda's blueberry wheats and some raspberries for speed. I've then got the lunch that I prepared yesterday ready to take to work, and I'm taking an apple as a mid-morning snack. So I just got to work, and again I've got myself a mug of green tea and a glass of water.
Unfortunately, after I had filmed the fact that I was bringing my apple as a mid-morning snack, I found that it was a bit too soft to eat, so I haven't now got a mid-morning snack. I may have to have a Hi-Fi bar, but as it's weigh day I don't like to have too much food before I get weighed, so I might just wait until after I get weighed at 3:30, so it's not too bad. Wish me luck. Hello! I am back from my weigh-in and I lost 3.5 pounds, which I was very happy with. So that means I've lost the 2.5 pounds that I put on in the Christmas week and an extra pound this week. It also means I only need £3 to get my 7.5 stone award. I'd like to think that I could do it in a week, but being realistic, I think it'll take me a couple of weeks to get that. And it also means I am only £10 away from target, so the finish line is definitely in view. Obviously, I've planned my SP week for the next week as well, so hoping for quite a nice result. I'd like at least £2. I'm pretty sure that I won't get the 3. I have got back and my food shop has been delivered for that. I've put that all away and I've put dinner on. Dinner is butternut squash chunks because they didn't have any butternut noodles, and I don't know where I'd even start making my own butternut squash noodles. So I've got butternut squash chunks, which I am baking in the oven, and I have the bolognese that I started last night. I've browned some mince and I've added that to the tomatoey sauce that I made last night. Oh, also at group, they'd ran out of tea bags, so I had to have an options. So that's 2.5 sins, I believe it's 2.5 sins for an options. And I also had a Hi-Fi Light bar, as all I'd had was my breakfast and then my lunch. So I've had a Hi-Fi Light bar, which will be my second Healthy Extra B. And because it's weigh day and because I'm not compensating for last week's takeaway anymore, I can have my full 10 sins after my dinner. So I'm wondering what that could be. Very exciting.
So here's my dinner. It's the bolognese with butternut squash chunks, and I have here 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, which is 30 grams for my Healthy Extra A. Then I decided to use some of my sins on extra parmesan because I love cheese so much. So I've also got, what did I say, 4 sins. I've weighed out 4 sins worth, as well as my healthy extra A, which brings my sins total to 7 sins so far. So I think I'll be having a little bit of chocolate as my after dinner treat. So it's after dinner now. I'm having a Milky Way, which is a very, very tiny bar for 3.5 sins, which brings my total sins for the day to 10.
So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I eat and what results can be achieved through food optimizing. If you have any questions at all, or if you have any suggestions for videos or recipes you would like, please comment in the comments down below, and I will answer any questions and perhaps bake videos and recipes for you. And I hope you join me next week to see what I eat and what results I achieve. Thank you, bye.